Previously on The Story with No Name.
I'm Sean.
Ricky. I passed by an alley and was pulled in and shoved against the brick wall.
Wandering on the wrong side of town, kid.
I was down and it was a free-for-all. But then something happened. They ran. I blacked out. I was in a dim room, laying on a dirty and thin blanket.
You okay?
I gotta go.
You wouldn't last another day out on your own. Let me come with you. You're obviously not strong enough to get to Arizona on your own.
I had no idea what this greaser had planned, but I was so worn out and hungry that I followed him, and something told me he had done this before. Sean walked fastly while I struggled to keep up, limping.
Fastly? That's not a... Is that a word? Quickly.
We're off to a rough start. Sean walked fastly while I struggled to keep up, half limping and gasping for air with every breath I took. Ricky is dying.
He's got asthma.
Oh my gosh, he's like... Teenagers roamed the streets in either leather jackets or sweaters, hair grease or after-shaving lotion. I don't know what boys are doing.
You know when you're a teenage boy and you go on down to the corner shop and buy some after-shaving lotion?
The place was alive with everyone doing as they please, at least for now.
Okay.
Sean said.
You go in and walk around a bit, then get something cheap.
He handed me a buck. Where will you be?
Right behind you? There's a question mark.
He pushed me towards the store and I walked in with him behind me.
Wait, why does he tell him that then? He's going in with him. Then why does he say it like a question?
So, I'm not gonna say I was an NPC for the majority of my lifetime, but this is what, like, an AI computer would generate. We both wandered the aisles they had. He was focused on what was on the shelves. I'm sorry, this is really bad.
You know when you go shopping and you're focused on what they have on the shelves, boys and girls? You go in and you're like, well, the grout on the floor is nice, and the moldy ceiling's pretty okay, but ooh la la, product!
I finally chose some type of energy bar with radium, in parentheses.
So it had to be good for you, right? What's radium?
Oh, okay, so I was really proud of myself for this story because I looked up a lot of things, and I didn't know what they had in like the 60s. So I looked up like foods you could buy at grocery stores and they're like, yeah, energy bars. And then radium was like super popular. That's why boomers are all like poisoned. It's a chemical. It's a bad one. You know, microplastic, it's like that, but hardcore because the boomers had it. I went to the cashier, who stared at me. A small mirror sat on the table. I looked terrible.
Full stop.
A deep cut on my forehead. A fist-sized blue bruise on my cheek, in parentheses. Not to mention the ones I could feel on my arms and side.
What happened?
Family matter.
That is the second time in this story you've said family matter. I know, because in the first one I put a poster for Family Matters up. This is the second time it's happened.
Family matter, which was code for I have... which was code for I have crazy drunk parents who decide that I am trash and beat me up. ... Basically.
Rough.
I nodded and took the change in the energy bar from the clerk. Let's go, I told Sean, who followed me out. He led me back towards the gas station, but we didn't go in. So what was the point of that? Sean smiled and pulled out 6 apples from up his sleeves. Well, I'm impressed. My only question was, how the heck did he do that?
Oh, you see, you pull down your sleeve, and you just slide a little apple in there, and then, you know.
So I looked up, I did some research on how people commonly steal things. And I was told by the internet that you need to have a distraction, and Ricky was the distraction. And I just didn't clearly write that. Ricky was the distraction. Anyways.
No, you wrote that. It was just dumb.
It really... Because they have money. Just buy the food. We ate all the apples before we even made it to the train station. Ricky's eaten. You're so happy.
Yay!
Say yay, Popeye. Wait, Popeye. Yeah. After we ate, I felt a little better, but still looked like trash.
So tell me,
Sean started.
how did you get on the train last night?
I waited for the guard to leave. He laughed.
Ha 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 ha.
You can't make him sound bad.
And how did that work out for you?
Not so well,
Just follow my lead.
Sean said. We walked around the loading dock and sat on a bench. Every time a guard walked by, I would look down and avoid eye contact. After a while, the train whistle sounded, and the conductor shouted for everyone to board. Sean scanned the passengers looking for someone. Once a woman walked out, he got up and followed her, and I followed him. In case you misunderstood, you need a ticket.
Relax, kid. You only need a ticket if you're a chum, or the off chance that the conductor thinks you don't have one.
The conductor saw us coming and stood in the doorway. That off chance is now, Sean, I mumbled to him.
Tickets, please.
The conductor said.
Our mother has them.
Sean told him.
Your brothers?
He asked as if it could never be done. What?
What?
He asked.
Brothers? Now that's something that can never be done.
Oh
Back
my
in
gosh.
my day, we had a one-child policy.
Sure, Sean and I did look different with his brown hair and blue eyes and my brown hair and green eyes, but we could pass for brothers if one had an imagination,
Yes.
Sean said. The conductor looked us over and stepped aside. Sean stepped up.
What did you do, Maddie? What did you do?
He stepped up the steps!
You stepped up the steps, you say?
I stepped up the steps. I stepped up the steps. I was rewatching that video and I was like, I can't possibly have written that any worse. And apparently I can. Twice! Sean stepped up the steps and I followed. Have you done this before? I asked once we were past the conductor. He only shrugged. We walked down the aisle and past the lady who was supposedly our mom. Sean winked at her. Why is Sean just such a sexual deviant? Sean winked at her as we walked by and she glared at us while we walked past. We walked out to where one car connects to the other. He stepped onto the railing and hoisted himself up on top of the car.
Come on!
I stepped up on the railing and tried to pull myself up, but the curse of being weak fell on me.
I do plan when this series is over, as its biggest fan, to finally give the story with no name a name.
Yeah, he's allowed to name it. I think
My current pitch is Ricky Deer and the Curse of Being Weak.
we're gonna finish it and you're gonna be like, no, this bullshit doesn't deserve a name. John saw me struggling and led me up. I think it's supposed to be help. The train whistle blew and the train started to lurch forwards. I clung to the top while trying to gain balance. Sean, on the other hand, walked along the rooftops as if he were walking on the ground. The wind and growing speeds didn't seem to bother him. Once I stood up, I was almost blown over.
Let's go!
He shouted to me. Then he jumped onto the next car.
How could I
have
not
not
expected
expected this? He landed the jump and waited for me. It was clear this kid was a nutcase. I had no idea why on earth I was listening to him. I got to the edge and looked over. The rails were moving fast below us and making nerve-rattling chimes that sounded like death knocking on my door.
Jump!
Sean shouted to me. The wind nearly pushed me, and the rickety train almost made me lose balance. I jumped, and for a split second I felt like I was flying. I landed on my feet, and thank God I didn't fall and die.
You made it!
Sean shouted over the hum of the train. You sound surprised!
I had my doubts.
Tell me something, I started. Are you crazy? Oh my gosh.
That's only for you to decide.
They're still on top of the train.
That's only for you to decide.
We walked to the edge of the car, jumped again, then again. All Ricky does is run and jump. If there was a fence, he'd have jumped it.
Boys born after 1940 whatever only know bird on they arm, jump on train, and lie.
Finally, we came to the end of the train. Sean found a ladder hooked to the side of the box and led to the door. Not gonna lie, that's just gibberish. And he was in. He poked his head out of the door and motioned for me to follow him. I got down on my stomach and swung my legs over the edge and climbed down the ladder and went into the boxcar. Just realizing that I couldn't breathe because I was scared out of my wits.
No, you're having an asthma attack, Ricky. Jeez, get the...
I lay... Okay. Laid is always autocorrected. I'm pretty sure laid is a word, but it always autocorrects, so I just gave up when I was like 15, and I was like, I guess it's lay. I lay down in the old boxcar and panted like a dog. Sean bent over me.
Having fun?
He smirked. I could have died!
Yes, that was definitely a possibility. But you didn't.
I think I'll take my chances with the guards.
Flashback. Yes, you handled that very well this morning.
I rubbed my shoulder, but the memory still lingered. I hate how they talk to each other. I really hate how they talk to each other.
Sean does talk like he's flirting.
He talks like, yeah.
Like he's like, that worked out for you. Like, not in a good movie, in like a
I'm not saying
Disney Channel 2006 type of way.
You're not helping. You're going, well. Sean looked out the opening at the fading lights of the town.
Look at it.
He said.
It's like stars sitting in the middle of a forest.
Or like a town in the middle of nowhere full of people who like to beat you up, I suggested. I'm kind of with Ricky on that one.
Wait, so do you introduce the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
And then they leave the town? Do the Ninja Turtles come back?
No. They're a plot device.
Mike! I guess he's just mad with power.
Yeah, I think they're mentioned once.
You know how people are. They're all just trying to win the race.
What race?
All they want is what's best for them. What they think will make them happy.
Huh. Somehow, his mixed up words made sense.
Bullshit. I call bullshit.
It doesn't make it. I think, I was so...
Feels like one of those AI-generated motivational quotes.
I'm, like, searching the depths of my mind to, like, try and figure out what, like, big, deep shiz I, like, had discovered. You know the Whisper app? Yeah, I think it's that.
Oh.
Yeah. Somehow his mixed up words made sense. ... Just a little bit. Soon the lights became hidden behind all of the pine trees. Sean stood by the door a little longer before he turned to me.
So, what have you learned?
I've decided not to associate with strangers who try and kill. And if they don't succeed, then you need to watch out because they're going to try again.
And that's right, kids.
Wait, who's
because
trying
knowing
to kill
is
him?
half the battle.
Is Sean the one who tried to kill him?
No, the Ninja Turtles. You know, he associated with them when they grabbed him and pulled him into an alley. Just don't get grabbed. Mm-hmm.
You're making it so much worse. Mm-hmm. He smiled. How old are you? Where are your parents, I asked.
I'm 19. Oh, I'm 19.
Are you?
No, I'm the same age as Sean. I can't be the same age as Sean. No.
No, this is good because now we can see if I write realistic 19-year-olds.
I would never talk to a 14-year-old. Not just like this.
No,
I would never talk
he's
to a
16.
I would never talk to a 16-year-old. I'm 19, and I have no idea where my parents are.
Neither does Ricky.
I think he knows where Ron is. He's at the police station. His home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be. They were abusive, and I was an accident.
I'm so edgy.
Don't worry, Professor. I was an accident too.
Can we beat up 15-year-old Matty? Oh wait, he said it with coldness, so say it again.
Don't be. They were abusive, and I was an accident.
He said it with such coldness. I would have thought it was a completely different person. Wait, say it again. But you're a different cold person.
Told me. They were abusive, and I was an accident. It's okay though. I got away.
Dots. What does that mean? He looked at... This is terrible. I just wish it was Ricky running around getting beaten up and not having to talk to anyone. He looked at me with his blue eyes that were illuminated in the moonlight.
Like I said, rough all over.
That's not what's...
Things are rough all over.
That's a direct line. Okay. That's a direct line from the outside. Direct line!
Might come as a surprise, but things are rough all over.
The reason it comes off so sexual It's because I was a 15-year-old girl and the guys needed to be hot. I nodded.
So, what about you?
He asked.
What happened to your arm?
I rubbed it as if it still hurt. Ron burned my arm. I feel like that line isn't as funny
Oh no, it's definitely Ron burned my arm!
Same as you. Abusive dad. Well, ... stepdad, actually. He continued to look at me, attentive on whatever I had to say. My mom died and he became a drunk and he burned my arm! That's why I'm here. I'm going to look for my real dad. Sean nodded, and I knew he understood. We were both greasers, out on our own with no one.
Alrighty, and that was the end of chapter 5. If you guys are interested in seeing more works from Matty, I officially have my second comic available for physical purchase on Etsy, and the description will be in the link down below. It is called Puppy Love. It is part 1. It is a story of 2 adolescent teens trying to figure out their path and their goals in life, and I think it is very cute, and you should definitely go check it out. Anyways, I will see you in the next time, and thank you so much for watching.